you. This is for all you ladies out there who like a bargain. And this is called Buy One, Get One Free, girls. Hello, I'm Charlie and welcome to another episode of the Time Traveller Diaries. Now today we're going to be doing a more serious video, and that is covering the bombing of the Deal Barracks in Deal, Kent, England, which took place on the 22nd of September 1989, which resulted in the deaths of 11 bandsmen and the wounding of 21 others. It was an event that understandably shook the area. Now we're going to be visiting the site of the bombing, to the graves of some of the victims to pay our respects, and even to a memorial bandstand which was erected in their memory. Now before we go to the locations, check out this clip.
The news from ITN.
Tributes are paid to the murdered bandsmen. The 10 Royal Marines killed in yesterday's IRA bombing have now been named. Most were in their 20s, 6 of them leave widows. 5 bandsmen are still in a critical condition in hospital. This morning, the parents of one of the dead Marines, Andrew Clitheroe, said they'd never forgive the IRA.
At the family home of bandsman Richard Fice in Cardiff, floral tributes have been arriving throughout the morning. Friends said Richard, who was 22, had lived for music and had transferred to Deal only 3 weeks ago to get more experience of orchestral work.
Quite frequently I'd hear him practicing and it sounded really lovely. You'd stop to listen, it was so nice, you know.
Another of those who died was Corporal Andrew Clitheroe, who was 25. His mother criticised the poor security at the base, but said she could never forgive his killers.
They'll never be forgiven. We can't stand up and say we forgive them because we don't. I mean, they've taken our son on them. We've a daughter, we're thankful for that, but they've taken our son. I mean, it's something that you can't replace and you can't. It takes getting over, won't it? Yeah. He's the best son anybody could ever have had. He was always thoughtful and considerate, wasn't it? Yeah. We were in touch with him almost every day.
It was a remarkable sight. Hundreds of people responding to the urgent call for blood. The bombing has outraged towns and villages throughout this corner of Kent.
We had to use a lot of our reserves for the immediate victims of yesterday's bomb. And we're going to have to support those patients over the next few days.
Among those who visited the injured today, the Archbishop of Canterbury. He met victims and families in 3 local hospitals.
And inevitably a great deal of anger and grief around, but underneath there's a great deal of love and determination not to be defeated by evil.
On the scene, forensic experts have been concentrating on houses overlooking the barracks. It's thought the IRA team may have used a room here to plan their attack. At the main gate, flowers from one 11-year-old who'd been determined to pay his tribute in person.
Some of them, right, I knew right away from not being a cadet, and some of them I've made some more friends.
And tributes too from the firm who still face so many questions over just how this attack was possible. Robert Hall, ITN, at Deal in Kent.
Now it was here where that terrible bomb went off at 8:22 a.m. on the 22nd of September 1989 at the former Deal Barracks here in Deal, Kent, England. It was known as the Royal School of Music, but in 1996 this was turned into flats. Now the bomb went off in that area there, which was known as the Coffee Boathouse area. Now here is where Prime Minister at the time, Margaret Thatcher, stood to pay her respects in front of bunches of flowers. Following the bombing, the men were immediately taken to various hospitals, including Deal, Dover and Canterbury. And it was in this area here where Prince Philip visited to pay his respects to the fallen men, also browsing through bunches of flowers. Now we're going to go and pay our respects to the graves of 3 of the men who lost their lives on that terrible day. And here we are at Hamilton Road Cemetery, Deal, Kent, England, where those 3 bandsmen are buried and laid to rest. We brought some flowers to pay tribute to them. Let's go and see if we can find them. And here we are at the grave of Christopher Nolan, who was only 21 when he was killed by the bomb. Christopher Nolan was also the only man not to die at the scene. He sadly passed away in hospital in the following month in 1989. I'd like to lay a flower here in his memory. Rest in peace, Christopher. Now here lies Dean Pavey. Dean was only 31 when the bomb exploded on the 22nd of September 1989, and from what I understand, Dean was passionate about football. Well, here's a flower in the memory of Dean. And here is the final resting place of Mark Petch. Mark was only 26 when the bomb went off, killing him on the 22nd of September 1989. I have a flower here for Mark, so rest in peace, Mark Petch. Now this is Walmer Memorial Bandstand, which was constructed out of respect for those 11 fallen bandsmen. The IRA would claim responsibility for the bombings, and 2 sketches of 2 potential suspects would be released. There is also a plaque here dedicated to the memory of those men. Band Corporal T.J.E. Davis. Band Corporal J.A. Clethero. Musician R.L. Simmons. Musician R.G. Feiss. Musician R.M. Jones. Musician M.F. Ball. Musician C.R. Nolan. Musician T.J. Reeves. Musician M.T. Petch. Band Corporal D. Macmillan. Band Corporal D.P. Pavey. So that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you for watching. I hope we've been respectful throughout. So please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Facebook page, and we'll see you next time on the Time Traveller Diaries.